This is a presentation on the three Greek tragic playwrights, namely Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides of ancient Greece. The primary focus of this presentation is to locate their momentous contributions to Greek drama. However, before entering into such a discussion, I would spend a few minutes roughly drawing the important factors that led to the evolution of Greek drama. And I am Dr. Neville Stephen, Assistant Professor of English, Government College, Attingal. It is popularly viewed that Greek tragedy evolved out of dithyrambs. Dithyrambs are hymns sung in honor of god Dionysus, who was the god of wine, fertility, and drama. Not only tragedy, but all other forms of drama evolved from these hymns. Dithyrambs during the early period were unrefined and coarse. It was poet Arrian who made a significant role in turning the primitive dithyrambs into something polished and substantial. One of the distinguishing facets of Greek tragedy is the chorus that numbered from 12 to 50. The members of the chorus, essentially priests, sang the dithyrambs. The chorus was held by some to represent the will and opinions of the society. They also engaged in commenting upon and making sense of the action that took place. Now, coming to tragedy, the word tragedy is derived from the Greek word tragedia, a compound of two Greek words, tragos or goat and ode meaning song. The formation of the Greek word tragedia may be interpreted in several ways. Maybe because it bears reference to goats being sacrificed to god Dionysus before performances, or to goat skins worn by performers, or a goat being given as prize to the best song. Though Greek tragedy was created in Athens around the time of 532 BCE, that is 6th century BCE, 5th century BCE is regarded as the golden age of Greek drama. It was the heyday of art, philosophy, theatre, and democracy in Athens. This actually happened after the establishment of democracy in 510 BCE and the Greek victory over Persians in 480 BCE. During this period, that is the golden age of Greek drama, Athens produced some of the greatest works of theatre of all time. Tragedies were popular because they were the most in demand. Audience invariably wanted to see a story that ended with a tragedy or that which had a tragic moral. Greek tragedy was sung, danced, and declaimed, and prose had no place in it. The plot of a tragedy was always inspired by episodes from Greek mythology, which were often part of Greek religion. They depicted ancient myths of heroes, kings, and warriors of Trojan War. However, violence was not permitted on stage. The death of a character had to be heard from off stage and not seen on stage. It would be inappropriate if THESPIS of ICARIA is not mentioned here. THESPIS of ICARIA in 534 BCE separated the leader of the chorus from the rest of the group to become Athens' first actor. According to tradition, in 534 BCE, THESPIS astounded audience by leaping on to the back of a wooden cart and started reciting poetry as if he were the characters whose lines he was reading. In doing so, he became the world's first actor. He was the winner of the first theatrical contest held in Athens and was also the leader of the dithyrambs performed in and around Attica, especially at the rural Dionysia. Dionysia here means the festival conducted in honor of god Dionysus. However, his importance is disputed, and Thespis is sometimes listed as late as 16th century in the chronological order of Greek tragedians. Early Greek tragedies. The early Greek tragedies had only one actor who would perform in costume and wear a mask, allowing him to impersonate gods. Later, the actor would often speak to the leader of the chorus, a group of up to 15 actors who were all male and who sang and danced but did not speak. As mentioned before, this innovation is credited to the so-called THESPIS. Greek tragedies followed tragic pattern of events, sometimes that of crime and punishment, sometimes the direct work of gods. Nevertheless, events happen in such a manner that all sorrow seems appropriate somehow. The power of Athens declined as a significant cultural, political, and military power following its defeat in the Peloponnesian War that was waged between 431 to 404 BCE against the Spartans. Sparta was their closest neighboring polis, or otherwise known as city-state. From that time on, the theatre started performing old tragedies again, but the theatrical traditions lost their vitality. However, Greek theatre continued into the Hellenistic period. Hellenistic period is a period following Alexander the Great's conquest in the 4th century BCE. Yet a remarkable fact to be noted is that the primary Hellenistic theatrical form was not tragedy but new comedy, comic episodes about the lives of ordinary citizens. Menander was the best known representative of Athenian new comedy. The new comedy's major contribution was its influence on Roman comedy, an influence seen in the works of Plautus and Terence. With this rough background, let's move on to the best known Athenian tragic playwrights. There are Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. Aeschylus, who lived between 525 to 456 BCE, is a highly honored Greek playwright. He added a second actor to Greek drama that conveniently enabled the plot to move in action as well as in tension. He also added stage decorations to his play while giving costumes to the already masked actors and chorus. When his tragedies are critically analyzed, it could be discerned that his plays such as Prometheus Bound, Agamemnon, and Seven Against Thebes portray humans who are punished by cosmic forces for their misdeeds and failings. In other words, the essence of Aeschylean tragedy was the depiction of a solitary hero facing his own destiny or playing out an inner drama of his own soul, like Pelagus in Suppliant Women. Aeschylus often wrote trilogies, that means three plays on a single subject that were intended for performance on the same day. One of his trilogies, Orestia, comprises of the Agamemnon, the Chorphoro, and the Eumenides. He also wrote several single plays, and to name a few include the Persians, Seven Against Thebes, the Suppliants, and perhaps Prometheus. Regarding Prometheus, there is a scholarly debate about whether to attribute the play to Aeschylus or another unknown poet. Finally, Aeschylus is admired along with the earlier mentioned contributions for his three unique characteristics that include heroic and austere characters, simple but powerful plots, and lofty diction. The second playwright to be mentioned is Sophocles. He lived between 496 to 406 BCE. He added a third actor to the Greek drama. In a groundbreaking move, he gave the actors more emphasis than the chorus. He also added three members to the chorus, bringing the total from 12 to 15. Instead of portraying solitary heroes confronting the universal order as Aeschylus did, Sophocles wrote plays that explored the place of humans within that order. The tragic situation in the plays of Sophocles represents an interlocking of certain complex circumstances and personalities, which eventually make a pattern that cannot be avoided. Moreover, the Sophoclean tragic hero is not a single minded man, but a complex figure who must be seen from more than one point of view. Hence, the third actor, which he introduced, helped to illuminate the character from several points of view. The tragedy in the heroes of Sophocles typically erupts from decisions made and actions taken based on imperfect knowledge or conflicting claims. Tragic disaster in the plays of Sophocles emanates from various aspects of the hero's character, which combine with unusual circumstances that finally bring about a catastrophe caused not by wickedness or foolishness, but merely by humanness. The role of chorus in Sophocles' plays remained important, but not as central as in Aeschylus. In Sophoclean tragedy, the individual characters are more complex, hence, the actors and not the chorus controlled the rhythm of the plays. Unlike Aeschylus, Sophocles did not need a trilogy to contain his tragedies. His plays stood alone. His Oedipus Rex is recognized by most critics as the finest tragedies ever written. The other six remaining tragedies are Ajax, Electra, Trachiniae, Philoctetes, Agamemnon, and Oedipus at Colonus. The third, perhaps the last of the three important playwrights of ancient Athens, is Euripides. He was quite controversial during his lifetime, but highly regarded after his death. Euripides was celebrated for his clever dialogues, realism, and habit of posing awkward questions to the audience with his thought provoking treatment of common themes. His characters seem less grand and more human. Their problems are less cosmic and more mundane. Euripides examined human relations, questioned the purpose of war, the status of women, and the reasons for human cruelty. Euripides' iconoclastic outlook changed the dramatic technique. He replaced the philosophical probings, and substituted them with rapid reversals, intrigues, and romantic and sentimental incidents which were later associated with plays called melodramas. Euripides is said by some to be the father of melodrama. He further reduced the role of chorus, perhaps more than what Sophocles did. As the role of chorus declined and the subjects became more personal, the language became less poetic and more conversational. These changes became standard dramatic practices later during the Hellenistic period. Although Euripides wrote about 90 plays, only 17 tragedies and one satire play survive. The plays most often revived include Medea as well as Hippolytus, the Suppliants, Electra, the Trojan women, and Bacchae. To conclude, the iconoclastic changes brought forth by these great playwrights of classical Athens refined and structured the primitive drama into a sophisticated one that offered a source of influence on the evolution of Roman drama. Thank you.